Rightio team, welcome to the Cfmoto 450Mt, or if you happen to be in the States, the Ibex 450, and well, let's get into it. So to start off, this bike retails in New Zealand for under $10,000. It is $9,990, and for that you get a heck of a motorcycle. Really is incredible how Cfmoto manages to really lead the way when it comes to bang for buck motorcycling. But not only that, this bike isn't just good value, it's really well thought out as well. So from the tower here, to the adjustable windscreen, to the dash, to the ergonomics, this bike just works. And for the money, it's nigh on unbeatable. So let's start off with what I think is one of its really best parts. That's the engine. So we'll crank her on. So this is a 450cc parallel twin, and honestly, it's got to be one of the greats, one of the best donks out there. Chuck her in neutral. So it sounds fantastic. I don't know how well you can hear me or the engine. So we'll leave it off because it's a pretty rowdy exhaust for a 450 twin. It sounds nice and throaty, and it really gives you a bit of a visceral experience when you're riding this bike, which I've got to say a lot of the other bikes in the market in this sub 500cc class are really lacking, because most of them are singles, and you just can't quite get that raucous nature out of a single, no matter how well you tune it or how good it is. So that is quite the party piece of this bike, but there's plenty more to like about it. It's got KYB adjustable suspension, front and rear. You've got adjustment there. Brilliant rally tower here with a really easy knob adjustment. But better than that, it actually works. So on the highway, because it's an adventure bike, it's not a straight up dirt bike, you got to ride to get to the adventure places. This screen setup is tremendous. It almost all but deflects all the air over my head when I'm riding. So if I sit on the bike, imagine I've got a bit more girth over my helmet here. The wind deflection at about 100k an hour just hits me right on the top of my helmet. I don't get any nasty buffeting, I don't hear any terrible wind noise. If I slouch down a little bit, it's just complete silence. It's brilliant. And that's on a sub $10,000 motorcycle. It's incredible. But not only that, you've got adjustable levers, which, let's face it, when you're trying to get up, get out there, have a good bit of fun in the dirt, adjustable levers make a huge difference. But we've also got foldable mirrors, which that should be mandatory on adventure bikes. It's absolutely awesome to see that on the Cfmoto. You can fold them out of the way if you're really mud plugging, or just be happy in the knowledge that if you do tip over, you're not going to break your mirrors off because they'll just fold out the way. It's great. Really well thought out bike, like I said before. Got a 17.5 litre petrol tank. That gets you about 400 kilometres of range, going by my testing. Somewhere between 350 minimum. And for the touring, it absolutely gets a big tick from me. Seat wise, I'll sit on her again. Don't know how well you can see that, but I am flat footing this with both feet on the ground. I cannot do that on any other adventure motorcycle, no matter what it is. I've never sat on an adventure class bike, including the Himalayan 450, and been able to just straight away touch both feet comfortably to the ground. Yes, that may come at the expense of a little bit of ground clearance, but honestly, this is a twin cylinder adventure bike. It is still going to get you all the places you could realistically want to take a bike that is pushing 200 kilos. I say pushing 200 kilos because the claimed weight is 175 kilos dry. You got to add in the fuel tank, all the engine fluids. Some people even drain out the fluid in the forks and everything. So it's somewhere around that 200 kilo mark, I believe. It feels it. It is a substantial bike. And because it's got this nice big tower in front of you and this extra wide tank and plastics here, it doesn't feel like you're riding a dinky little learner bike. despite the fact that this is learner approved. So it is quite a cool bike to jump on. So the seat itself, nice and comfy. I haven't had any complaints yet, but because of its styling, well, because of its design, sorry, you could easily get a pillion on here if you really wanted to. Again, it's a 450 at the end of the day. It's got somewhere around that 40 horsepower. If you want the specs, check out the Cfmoto website. There's no point in me rattling off specs here. But the design of this makes it really good if you had a duffel bag, for instance, like my GV duffel bag that's waterproof. You could easily just slap it on the back here, tie it up with the factory rack, and away you go. So she's not the perfect motorcycle, I'll give you that. It's not the unicorn that a lot of people sort of deemed this bike to be when it was first announced. Like I said, it's a little bit on the heavy side. It is still a twin cylinder adventure bike. It's not an enduro bike. Yeah, let's say the negatives as I see them. There's not a lot of them. It does reflect its price point in some respects. The plastics look nice, but you will want to get crash protection from the parts catalogue for this, because it's not something I want to test, but I imagine the plastics aren't going to really appreciate being dropped into the dirt. The stickers, they look a bit cheap, and on the fork here, I don't know how well you can see it, the KYB sticker is peeling off the fork, which that could be from someone getting a little bit overzealous with a power washer for all I know, but something I noticed. Where else does it feel its price point? Yeah, that's basically it. This bike is tremendous for the money. TFT screen, really nice. That has got two view modes that you can sort of tailor how it displays things, and nice and clear, easy to see, tells you all the info you could want, including gear position. Speaking of electronics, this bike has a party piece that not a lot of other bikes have on the market. Your ABS button here to switch it into off-road mode. Normally in most bikes around the place you have to come to a complete halt and then hold that down for a while. Not on this thing. You can switch ABS off, traction control off on the fly as you need it. And that is a huge bonus that really saves you time when you're out trying to have fun. You don't want to pull to a halt every time you come to a gravel road to switch your ABS back on, or vice versa, turn it off when you come to a gravel road or hit the dirt. I love that. I love that the buttons feel quality. They control the TFT nicely and easily. Your indicator switch here, nice, gives positive feedback, you know what it's doing. Overall, Cfmoto has done a tremendous job of not only producing a affordable motorcycle, but one that is really well put together. On the tower here, you have a power port with USB-A and USB-C plug ports, so that you can basically charge anything you like. It really annoys me that a lot of European manufacturers in particular only give you USB-C plugs. I don't know about you, but almost every product I have has a USB-A plug for power. The only thing I have that has USB-C is the cable for my MacBook that goes USB-C to USB-C. Everything else USB-A, so it's nice to have both options here. Right on the dash, with the windscreen in the up position, you can mount stuff up here to this little bar. I've mounted a camera there. In the low position, it's a bit tricky to mount stuff, but hey, that's part and parcel of having an adjustable windscreen. Lighting, LEDs all round. It looks, admittedly, like a bit of a Cyclops. It's a bit futuristic, and my personal aesthetic's starting to look more towards those modern classic type bikes and round headlights and stuff, but it admittedly still looks really cool and it looks purposeful. This bike looks like it's ready to attack a dirt road, attack an adventure trail, and let you have a great time doing it. And that is exactly what it does. So I've ridden this up around Mount Pirongia, I've ridden it on the road, I've ridden it in town, and I've ridden it in the dirt somewhat. And everywhere I've taken it, between the engine note, the beautiful power delivery, and just the beautiful ergonomics and how this bike feels on the road, it's just left a grin on my face. In terms of grins per dollar, it's nuts. What else can I say? This thing, it's really shown me that bikes out of China, getting built in China, can be fantastic products, unlike a certain motorcycle that shall go unnamed for now that was a complete and utter disappointment. This thing is dollar for dollar some of the best money you could buy. Essentially, if you're after a sub 500cc adventure bike that can actually take you places, there's this in the Himalayan 450 in my mind. Don't worry with the other bikes on the market. Look at this, look at the Himalayan, choose the one that suits your needs better. Personally, I would love to keep this bike, but unfortunately, I've got to give it to the next lucky tester who's going to pick it up tomorrow. So I've got to take it home, give it a bit of a wash, and yeah, that's my time with the Cfmoto 450Mt up. In terms of overall experience, it's been fantastic. Looking over the bike, there is not a heck of a lot to really denote that this is a sub $10,000 motorcycle. And honestly, if you're spending the money, you've got that kind of money, you want a bike with a warranty, the dealer network in New Zealand is continuing to grow. There is beautiful coverage, top to toe of the nation. If you're after a bike to go and have a good hone and have a play on, out in the dirt, learn to ride adventure bikes, this is definitely one of the top bikes in the market to have a look at. For more content, check out the website on throttle.co.nz, check out the other videos in YouTube here, and I will see you in the next video.